It's doing the thing. Okay, so before you do the waiting room, we found out that if you, where did we find that, Chris? In more? I think in more. Oh, play sound when someone joins or leaves. Woohoo. And now you can admit them all. I don't know how you can admit it, Jonathan. He seems like.
Recording in progress.
Explanation right there.
So this is oh, you're still, someone's microphone is still on. Someone's not muted. Is that instead of it showing Carlisle one and showing us, it shows the first person who logged in.
Microphone in.
So I think that's all we can do, but it doesn't, it's not making us the, you'd have to pin us, but if you pin us, then we can't see everybody else.
Turn off the sound.
Yeah, leave it at homes. I was actually looking around the table. Two of us, pen and paper.
I think we just go with it.
Yeah.
That's what happened on
I'm muted and don't have video. I can't get mine to stop making sound even though I turn the volume all the way off.
Right, does
Turn it
that
back
give you
up.
the view of the?
No,
Well, might give us more.
it says speaker, but it thinks that, Jonathan's the speaker and Jonathan is
Should we
you,
just have all of us?
So I turn it
Go
all
like
the way
this?
off.
I guess.
Put it back up.
Control M from mute. Oh, that's hit mute, but
Yeah, I've got the mute off.
But isn't that funny? Someone's not muted.
it's the speaker volume. You have to,
Yeah, I just want to turn the speaker off.
right.
It's refusing to do that.
All right.
Not that one.
You might have to exit the meeting.
All right.
NIL.
We can have Patricia with this.
Yeah, I was gonna try to see if we could get, everything really working first, because I would do the script and then
Yeah,
ask.
yeah.
I don't hear you. Yeah, so the camera hunts around depending on who it sees. It's kind of annoying.
I'm moving. So we all sit really still, maybe it'll.
Setting two.
You know, even when we sat still, then it would just go in and out.
I think it's doing it based on where it thinks the sound is coming from.
The owl. Is it, I guess it's that thing we don't have the moment.
All right, so I think that's what we get for now.
Okay.
So I'm gonna do the script, but before I do, Patricia Wolf, could you just identify yourself? Because we just sort of take a roll call. We're not muted, are we?
Hi, yeah, I'm Patricia Wolf, 12 K's Walk in Carlisle.
Okay, thanks.
Thanks.
All right. Sorry, we're starting late. The computer was not cooperating. And we did get Alex. So where we have everyone but Adam, who's not gonna be here, we won't have to do roll call votes. We can do voice votes. I'm Brian Murphy, Chair of the Land Stewards Committee, and call the meeting Land Steward Committee to order at 7:05, 8, whatever it is. Members present are Suki, Warren, Judy, Chris, Claudia, not Adam, Shane, Julie, Alex, and myself. For this meeting, the Land Stewards is convening in person or by telephone or Zoom web conference as posted on the town's website, identifying how the public may join. Please note the meeting is being recorded. Accordingly, please be aware that other participants may be able to hear you, and anything you broadcast may be captured by the recording. All participants should keep their phones and microphones muted unless recognized by me. So each vote in this meeting will be taken by a voice vote because we have the quorum in the room. This is a public hearing. Comment is permitted. I will call on each speaker to address the working group. If you wish to address the group, please click on the raised hand icon or ask to speak by posting a request in the chat features. Please identify yourself at the start of your remarks. Members of the community may speak when called upon, but they're limited to 3 minutes each on a topic. So I guess everybody has the agenda. We'll start with the approval of the meeting minutes from November 18th. Anybody have any comments on the minutes?
When we get to section 5, I'd like to give a few comments.
Section 5
A,
of the meeting minutes,
yes,
not section 5 of the agenda.
So mowing,
yeah,
the budget, sorry. the
no,
budget.
take it back. I would like to start with, section 4, and then sub-item B, and sub-items I and double I. And I'll read it, and then I'll
Okay,
show
yeah,
you
great,
a
great.
typed out version.
The Friends of the Bog have dug out the secret riser almost to the bottom board,
Okay,
in
so.
parentheses to the current water level. So
So
that's
under 4B double I,
okay, the boards will need to be replaced. before
Yes,
they-
yes. second sentence.
This is a line item expense.
Yes, I would like it to read as follows.
Mhm.
This says, this is an unfunded line item in the 2026 budget, comma,
Mhm. Mhm.
but is a funded line item in the FY 2027 budget request. With people here, the confusion was with the existing text made it sound as if
A funded line item in the 202.
FY 2027 budget request. It's made it sound like we had the money in pocket today, but we don't. I'll show this to you later.
Yeah. I'm putting it in parentheses, FY 27.
Budget request. So in other words, but just I'll add a comment. Given that it was a line item in the budget for this year, but unfunded, if we wanted to spend the money this year, if we have the money, they're not gonna stop. So, Chris, if you think you need it,
I think we may.
I think we just do it.
Okay, got it.
Under,
So, would you want the sentence to read, this is an unfunded line item expense in the FY 26 budget, but is a funded line item in the FY 27 budget request?
Yeah. I just needed to be accurate, as Chris knows, but we could probably.
I got it. Okay, so I typed that in parentheses into the minutes. So I have the wording exactly the way
Okay.
we want it. If anybody want to pose any more edits to that?
Warren had 2, or was that it?
No, to that one, we're finished with that one.
Yeah.
Ready, okay. And
Moving
then
on to 5A.
mowing.
And I think I don't have the text in front of me, but I think it's in the motion. And in the motion,
Okay, moved it. The motion is Lyman moved that LSC accept line item costs of up to 6,000 for conventional mowing and line item cost of up to 8,000 for specialized steep slope mowing. Spinney seconded, and the motion passed by roll call vote.
okay, I would,
Don't think we can change motions. We have to, because they were voted on.
okay. Well, how would it read if we just struck? I don't, does it say steep slope specialized? Now how does that, right after steep slopes, what is it, next word?
Mowing.
Okay. I don't think that's, correct, just so people know, the budget for special mowing includes one 8,000 for steep slopes and 7,000 for the Fisk Street bog, which adds up to the
To be 8,000.
8,000 we wanted.
So it should
So
be
that's
specialized.
what the budget actually has in it.
Yes, so it should actually be specialized and steep slope.
Yes, yes.
Okay, so how about if we can
How
all,
did we stop that?
No, don't worry about it.
we
Just
can all
everything.
vote on that revised motion.
Inserting the word and.
And,
Yeah,
and I'll put the revised version in this month's,
Okay.
I mean, I'll leave last month's minutes the way they are and put this whole motion. How to do this?
Okay.
Okay,
Two more.
well, no, wait, it's just how to do this correctly, because this is something. I think what I should do is put a footnote, here after this motion and say, see the minutes of, the minutes of today's meeting, that should put a footnote after this motion referring to the motion that we have to vote on tonight in document in this meeting's minutes. Sorry. We'll just vote on that and get it out of the way. So the new version will read, Lyman move that LSC accept the line item cost of 6,000 for conventional mowing and line item cost of 8,000 for specialized and steep slope mowing.
That's right.
Can you second that?
Well, I mean, this is sort of discussion of the minutes, right? So I don't know. That's,
This was my misunderstanding.
Oh, I see.
I thought the 8,000 was for the steep slope mowing, but it's really for specialized mowing and steep slope mowing. So I didn't understand
Okay.
that. I wrote down the wrong thing.
I think you can change it to
The right thing.
the right thing, and we don't need a vote on that. It's just, I think we
Okay.
approve that when we approve the minutes, we approve
Okay,
your changes.
I'll just say, I'll just make a note to see these minutes, that there's an edit.
okay,
Okay, fine.
sounds good.
Two little ones, 5D.
Yeah, can I just, so the first one was,
5A?
5DII.
I need to be present for these were, the first one was for
4B,
4B,
double I.
and then that last one was
It's
5A.
5A under the motion.
Okay,
And the next one is 5DII. I just want to change the date in there from 1984 to 1987.
oh,
This is the date at which
4D.
the town first started recording the use of pesticides by the farmers who had licenses. I'm just changing the date. We didn't have any data reported from farmers until 1987. So it's just a small date change.
Okay.
All right, and then the last one is, I'm not sure, I think it's 5DII and then further subpart A, I'm not sure, but it talks about the timing of insecticide application. And
That's the right area.
what?
You're in the right place.
And the correction should end up saying that and I think this was when they're gonna do testing, was it? That it should be before planting and after harvest. That's the new phrase, and I think it's referring to.
So there's one collected before and one after insecticide application. You want
Yeah,
harvest.
I want before planting and after harvest in the whichever line this is of A, the 11th line. Line 11 over A.
So testing 2 composite soil samples, one
Before
collected
planting
before planting and
and
one
one after harvest.
insecticide
Yeah, yeah.
application.
Okay, before
Yes,
planting and after, okay.
And after harvest, and then take out insecticide application.
yes, that's it.
Got it.
Thank you.
So I just have one quick one.
Hang on, I typed these in, so this is 5D to,
A, yeah.
okay, thanks to people.
So go down to the beginning of the next page under D.
The,
So
so this is,
Asarka
sorry,
should end in an F instead of a K.
D, oh,
That's all.
That's like aardvark.
yeah,
Yes.
I'm gonna change that.
That's it.
Anything else? Okay, and with those changes, can we accept these minutes?
I
So moved.
second.
So we'll do a voice vote.
Aye. All
Aye.
in favor?
So all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay. A little messy, but not too bad.
Right, so public comment.
And why do we do those up front? Because the public comments on what? Because all we've done is the meeting minutes.
It's always at the beginning.
Yeah,
It always
there
been at the
was a
beginning.
suggestion from the select board representative
Yeah.
that that's just the way they start their meetings. I'm not sure that.
Somebody may come in with
If we
something
open,
they want to get off their chest in it right at the beginning and not have to wait until
10 o'clock. Yeah, I get it.
Let's do.
Thank you. And are there any public comments at this time?
All right,
All right.
onto the land use permits. Did you have that?
I do have it. And she's here and she's unmuted herself, so.
So Marla,
Permission to speak?
Please.
My name is Marlies Henderson from Billerica, and I am here to ask for a permit for 2 dates in January to walk with a group in the Greenoland trails with the low river. That would be the river trail, the red trail, hopefully get to Maple Street and then loop back around Greeno Pond and start, weather permitting, from the Billerica side. I lead walks for the past, this is the 11th year that I do winter walks, but not quite the 11th time that I do green. I think that Greeno is the 10th year. And yeah, I hope I can continue. It wasn't until a few years into the program, I always was in touch with Sylvia, who was the conservation agent at the time. And at some point she realized a permit was required. So then I would always request for the permit to have everything, all the T's crossed and the I's dotted.
Any from the board have any comments on her permit? So the dates are
It's Sunday, January
4th
4th.
and Saturday the 10th.
Yeah.
Warren?
Yes, well, I've talked to Marlies before. Their group is terrific. I have no general problems. You've talked about a designated parking area. Who has designated it and where? I mean, I think at this time of year, I'm really not concerned because everything's pretty frozen, but just where will your people park? Has it actually been staked out or traffic cones or what?
That
Will
would
be
be
the
one
same
of
as
my
last year?
questions for you. Because
Oh, all right. So somebody has to
So
do it.
Shane says,
Yeah, same as last year. We still keep up the field, so I think we had, like 9 vehicles there and whatnot, and the rest parked up on the hill.
And what if the snowbanks?
It was last year too. But they
yeah,
ran-
it's a last minute thing. You can't really say what the weather is going to be. There were years that I park at Maple Street, but I prefer to start from Billerica. And in the past, we would park at the barn where the ground was hard. And now there's a soft soil on top, so it doesn't lend itself for parking until it's probably maybe settled sometime in the future. A number, I think last year we had 9 cars on the paved path, and we shuttled from a conservation parcel of Carter Ave, side street from Route 4. It looks like it would be similar to last year. Shane Usher was there to discuss it with me in advance. We marked it. I think it would make sense to, when we get closer to the date and know what the weather's like. If the ground is as solidly frozen as now, there might be room for more than 9 cars.
Okay, so the bottom line is you're gonna help them.
Yeah, I'll help with the parking, parking
All
I'll
right.
take care of. And also, one of the vehicles was leaking transmission fluid, a gearbox fluid, pretty bad. So if you would make sure your people would know if their vehicle is in good shape before they park down there.
Oh yeah, I didn't even realize that was the case. I'm glad you pointed out.
Anyway, thank you. I'm satisfied now.
A question? Anybody else from the board?
Sorry.
Anybody from the public, Sylvia?
Yeah. I have a picture that I took. Are they gonna be down near where the barn was, in that area?
Yeah.
Be aware of around the cupola, this is what it looks like now. There's a whole bunch of materials.
Yeah.
And if there's snow covering it, vehicles could, run over it. I don't know if there's any nails in it or not, but might be good to get the historical folks.
Well, they won't exactly be that far.
They won't be that
parking
far.
there. Yeah,
Okay.
but still.
On the paved part further up.
Ago.
What?
On the paved part further up, right?
Well, this is down next to the cupola, and that's all the material I think must have come off there, and that was the end of October. Maybe it's been cleaned up a little bit since then, but.
Most
Well,
likely.
we would not be close to the cupola.
Okay.
The cupola is more on where the new soil is, so that wouldn't be suitable.
That was supposed to be picked up actually by Phil Drew and his crew. So I'll have to go over there and see if it's been done. But there's hardly any pavement there at all anymore, so just in front of the cupola. But otherwise, they'll be parking on the dirt access road.
And you have the key to the gate so you can let them in?
Yeah. Unless she knows it or not. Well, at least knows that. Yeah, I think she was thinking Steve Tobin would unlock the gate. I don't know if you want to ask her.
Can you hear?
I don't quite follow the conversation, but I heard the word gate, and usually it's Steve Tobin who opens it. I'm not sure if I heard you correctly.
I'm planning to open it, yes.
Oh, you see it.
Surprise. So any other comments from anybody?
I just,
Well, if I have a key to the gate also, so I can open it.
Okay.
If you wanna.
So Shane is gonna open the gate for you.
Very nice. Thank you, Shane.
I think there's a way to turn up the volume if we're not that loud. It's not the one on the bottom. That's
Oh, it's
the
not?
speaker. It's
My computer.
under audio, maybe on the far left. Audio settings. And output volume higher. Oh, no, sorry, input volume I meant. It's already up all the way. That's all we.
It might have been on my end because there was a phone ringing too, which is not important.
That sounds really good.
Okay. So can I get it?
I
Oh,
have
you have a question? Sorry.
Marlies, it says you have an unknown number of animals participating.
Oh, no. I don't know if there is a number of animals. Sometimes there is a dog, and sometimes there isn't. But it's not a dog walking group. And if I go into Great Meadows, I can't bring a dog. So,
Okay, I'm just doing due diligence. If you have dogs with you, they'll be under good voice control or on a leash.
definitely on a leash. Yes.
Oh, okay, all right.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Oh, absolutely.
So can I get a motion to issue this conservation land use permit?
So moved.
Second?
All right, so we'll do a roll call vote. I mean, a voice vote.
Ready? All in
All in
favor?
favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, and the motion passes, and I will scan this and email it to you.
Thank you very much.
Okay.
Would you like me to change the heading to Carlisle LSC land?
I changed most of it.
Oh,
I took
okay.
out conservation.
Yeah. Very
It does
good.
say conservation land use permit. It's kind of is still a conservation land, so.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
the rest of it, I took out all the part where it said the conservation agent and conservation members signing it.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
All right?
Thank you very much and have a very good evening. You seem to have a heavy agenda.
Thank you. So next is the Trails Committee, New Greeno Trail. I'm sorry that wasn't in the original packet. Those pictures. Steve, do you want to talk about it?
I'll be talking about it.
This was Jonathan's idea.
Yeah, it's the reason I got settled to talk about it. So do you have the slide deck that Steve prepared it, we
I
displayed
did
it?
send it to you.
I mean, it was in the package.
I did ask Pat if she has it too.
I have it on my computer. I just have to figure out how I can share it.
You enable her for sharing?
I mean, I
I don't think it's disabled. Yeah, she just has to share.
That's kind of do it. Now how do I do it? Okay. Share.
See.
Okay.
No, it wasn't. I
Do
emailed
that.
it.
Click on that
it was, yeah.
and then share.
Yeah, I know I pulled it up on my phone because I had a computer and I had Google satellite
go.
on my phone.
Can you enlarge that?
I'll just blow up the whole thing.
I will try.
Oh.
Doing it.
Okay. No, but I think she can make it full screen.
Did that do anything?
Yeah,
That's good.
that helps.
Okay, so let me just talk you through this, and we'll look at the screen every once in a while. So as you guys recall, you, as in the LSC, and I have a notice of intent for doing the water chestnut work on Greeno Pond. And part of that work included rehabilitating the canoe launch that is at the edge of Maple Street. And when I was working on that this past summer, there was some debris that was left by the installation of the safety rails on the road. And I worked with Conscom and the DPW, and we determined the best course of action was to bring in some additional gravel in order to make a nice smooth parking surface there. And so we did that. And there is now a nice little parking spot there for about 2 cars. And when I was working on that, I realized that this is now an excellent spot to solve one of the problems that happened by putting in the guardrails. It used to be that people would stop on the bridge, and whether they were biking or walking, they would stop on the bridge and look out over the pond. And so you would commonly drive past and see people stop there. It was wider by about 2.5, 3 feet at that point. But once the guardrails got put in, it became so narrow that it is dangerous to stand there now. If 2 cars attempt to pass each other while you're standing there, you are basically roadkill. And so it used to not feel unsafe at all, and it feels very unsafe now. In fact, walking the whole bridge is very unsafe now, which is a whole separate problem. But I thought, since we have this nice little parking area right here, there is excellent town-owned land, really just like 80 feet from the parking area, that can be used to place a bench. So people would no longer be forced to look out at the pond from a dangerous spot. They could have a spot where they could sit on a bench and look out at it and get a similar view. It's not the same because you're a couple feet lower relative to the bridge, but you're viewing over the same area of the pond. So you see the same beaver dams, or the same beaver lodges, the same water chestnut, et cetera. And lily pads. Some natives there too.
Birds, there's birds.
There's birds, yes.
Only wood ducks.
Yes, that's a whole separate thing. Wood duck boxes too, but so in any case, I thought, what if we put in a little bench here and just run a little trail over to it, about 80 feet over from the parking area. And so since Trails is in charge of benches and trails, I first brought it up to them to ask Trails Committee if they would be interested in considering this. And they thought about it for a while and came out and looked at it and said, yes, this looks like a nice idea. And so the next step that we took was we went and talked to the abutter, which is on the south side of your screen there, and just informed them that we were planning on considering something like this. So far, they have not raised any objections, but I believe they have yet to get back to us on whether they approve of the idea or not. But it is going to be something that's going to be at least maybe 50 or 80 feet from their property line, where the bench would be, and the bench would be facing away from their house. So we're not anticipating significant abutter pushback on this. And then the next stage after that is to come and talk to the Land Stewardship Committee. And so hence the reason we're here today is to ask you guys to at least begin considering the possibility of having a little trail and a bench in that location at Greeno. So did I miss anything important, Steve? That's good. Cool. So that's it. Discuss.
And the trail is just gonna be a little bit of clearing through the buffer
Yeah,
zone?
it's just some ferns there. And I think there might be like a downed like 2-inch pine that you'd have to like move out of the way. But it's basically just removing a few ferns in order to get from here to there.
How far is that from the trail? There is a trail that comes out from Greeno onto Maple Street.
That's on the other side of the bridge.
Well, it's
Used
on
to
the
be a
south of the
skating
city.
hut,
Yeah.
and it's on the
Oh.
north.
It's on the north side. This is on the south side.
Right.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
there's 2 trails that touch
Okay,
on the
that's-
north side right next to the pond.
Right, this is.
And
on
then the next closest trail is a 1/4 mile south of here on the
Probably less
on the
than
south
that.
side. Yeah, maybe.
Just past the driveway.
Yeah,
between
okay.
the 2 houses.
All right,
Yeah.
okay.
Warren, you look like it.
Would it be appropriate to have a very modest trailhead sign saying water view 100 yards or something like that?
I believe that was in my original proposal to the
okay.
Trails Committee that we would figure out what sign we were going
Yeah,
to
it
place
would be
there
nice.
to say that there is something here.
Yeah.
As a
Good.
as a notice. I don't know how much. I mean, normally every trail intersection that the Trails Committee has a little number and whatnot on it. I don't know if they want to go through with that whole thing. This is all very preliminary. The Trails Committee runs a very extensive process to decide whether or not to put in a new trail. And so it takes about a year to go through it because you want to go out and walk this in every season, make sure in the spring it's not flooded, make sure it's possible to walk there, understand what kind of vegetation you have to get rid of in each season. So this is our first conversation. I don't think anything would get built until at least the summer, if not later, depending on how long it takes to do this. So I started the conversation with them in, I want to say October. So that's probably the earliest it would get built, would be September, or October. So yeah, so all the discussions about what sign should we have and where should we place it are all things we can discuss in the future.
Another good spot where a bench would be where the ice skating shack was. It's all open.
So on
Yeah.
the side,
Yeah, that's on the other side of Maple Street. That would really need a trail.
But
Yeah,
you can
no,
make a trail going right through there,
Yeah,
There's a
yeah,
trail
I mean, it's got a trail, and there is a parking lot.
so.
there is another bench right around on the headland there too.
Yes, there it is. Yeah, if you go a little further along. Sometimes that's flooded out. And the trails are always-
However, the Trails Committee, as I understand it, is always looking for new ideas on where to put benches. So the more the merrier, as far as I'm concerned.
they get to use that C machine.
They do. If you guys haven't seen the benches, they do a really nice job of putting a Trails Committee logo on the benches. And I believe the bench design was designed by Sylvia's husband.
Yeah.
Very cool, but they don't have drink holders,
They don't.
Sorry.
We disapprove
They have
of
Wi-Fi.
disposable containers that get put in those. So,
Do you want to show the other pictures?
oh yeah. So this is the map showing where the trail would be. It's shown here as a straight line. I don't know that it would necessarily be a straight line. When the Trails Committee actually builds something like this, they are a little more artistic than just straight lines. So there might be a little bit of a curve to it or something.
It's only 70 feet long.
Yeah, it's true. It might just be a straight line. Might wind around some of the ferns. You never know. So yeah, let's look at the next page, can we, Pat?
Yep. If I can figure it out.
There's a
Nope.
little scroll bar.
Yeah,
I
right.
think
Just,
there might be an error.
A little scroll
Okay.
bar on your the right hand side.
yeah, we're just hit page down. That usually works.
I see how we do it.
So these 2 photos that are currently very, very small are actually of what you would see, especially if you had really interesting glasses. So the one view is out over the pond, essentially the direction that the bench would be facing. And the view next to it is the view of the parking area from where the bench would be. So you can see it's right there because those are cars in the second view. So it's not far and it's just across ferns.
Is that just a little gully on the left in front of it?
That's just a shadow.
It's just a
Just a
shadow.
Oh, just a shadow.
The whole area is very close to the water level, and in the spring, the water level will probably come up to within like a foot of this area.
But you can see Brook Street across the pond, that thing that looks like a dike.
Yeah,
That's
that might well be Brook
That
Street.
is Brook Street.
No,
No, it might,
this is looking parallel to Maple Street.
Just looking
yeah, so that might be the headland that we're looking at in the middle of that picture.
I don't
where the
know.
other bench
I think
is.
that's Brook Street on the left. I think you're looking at Brook Street.
Well, we'd have to have a much closer view of it to find out. So, but yes, it is looking in the direction of Brook
Yeah, you
Street.
can see the two of them.
Sometimes you can. The location of the bench, though, I believe there's an area, there's a high area in the pond where there's kind of like an island, and that is between the area where this bench is going to be and Brook Street. So, and then you scroll down to the next page there, Pat. Yeah, here's another view of the map from. So this is the one that has the delineations for how high above the water level it is. And so you can see the proposed trail kind of stays up on what is 1 foot above the water level, or 2 feet above the water level. And so that water level, of course, depends on what the beavers are currently doing, right next to the culvert there that goes underneath Maple Street. But in general, it's likely to be dry ground most of the year. However, this entire area does flood. And so if we get a lot of rain, the whole area might be underwater. It goes underwater just a little bit before Maple Street goes underwater. So Maple Street could go underwater here too if it wanted to. So yes, and is there one more page?
No, I just see 3, but yep, just 3.
So yeah, so that's it.
And technically that's part of Greeno, that land.
Yep.
Yes.
Yep. Yes, the area that you're looking at to the left there,
Mhm.
that has a property marker delineation.
Yeah.
Was purchased from someone other than Mr. Greeno, but it was combined all into one thing as the Greeno land when the town bought them all. I forget who it was that.
Yeah, because the other
Sound purchased
side,
that
you know, north of this pond is kind of a small piece of Greeno. I don't know whether that was part of.
Yeah, that north of that purple
Yep.
line is also green.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
is. Yeah, and that's kind of where the Blueberry Trail is.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So,
Yeah.
something in the house.
Okay, any more comments from the commission?
Looks like a great idea.
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks like a great idea. I just worry that a butter is gonna decide to respond and say they don't like the idea. And
That
then-
might happen.
Then we'll back off.
Well, we'll have a conversation with them. So find out what it is that they don't like about it.
I mean, it's not like you're violating zoning or anything, putting the bench on land, right?
Yeah.
I mean, you asked the butter just out of courtesy, I suppose.
Right. Yes, past experience says it's a good idea to talk to the abutters early.
Sure.
So,
And the LSC really too, right?
yes. Talk to everyone months before you actually do anything.
Are there any comments from the public? No? So are you looking for a preliminary vote from us or a nod or just informational?
I guess just a warm fuzzy feeling that we should go ahead.
Can I get a warm fuzzy feeling? Morgan?
Yeah. I move that the LSC supports the trail proposal on the Greeno land off of Maple Street.
Okay. And can we take a voice vote on that?
All in
In
favor?
favor?
Everybody.
All opposed? Okay,
Thank you.
thank you.
Yep.
Great idea. All right, so now we're on to the liaison reports. I'm embarrassed to admit that I can't think of anything that happened in Conscom last night.
Well,
Five.
there is the, that Sudbury Assabet Concord
Oh, yeah.
grant.
Yes. Is that where we do that is here?
Yes, might as well.
Okay.
Since it's something Conscom wants us to sign a letter of
Recommendation.
recommendation.
So has everybody seen that letter?
I don't think so.
Isn't that one of the attachments?
Yeah, it was in the package.
Was it?
I
Okay.
think so.
Yeah.
It's basically approved support, the invasives on Greeno watershed, getting rid of the Japanese knotweed.
It's the proposal, was it? The support for the grant application.
Right.
Okay, so
Yeah.
Conscom wants LSC support for,
This Sudbury Aspet.
Does anybody need to see this draft letter? It was in the package.
it was in the package.
It's a whole folder.
Yeah.
Yes, that's right.
So all we need is a motion of support or not support, right?
Are you making that motion?
Is,
Oh, I will if there's no discussion.
Is there any discussion about this?
so
Any comment
the
from?
plan they use is to use goats? Is that what I'm seeing?
Yeah, if you guys want to know more, I, as a member of the public, happen to know about this.
Yeah,
Because they
okay.
also asked for CCF support. I can tell you
It's
stuff
sure.
about it if you want.
It's for Japanese knotweed,
Yeah.
mitigation. At greenhouse.
So are there any more comments from the commission? If not, we can take comments from the public.
Well, that was a question I was, was that an affirmative?
Yeah, I can tell you about it if you want.
Yeah, sure.
So yeah, there's a couple of stands of Japanese knotweed that have been at Greeno for a long time. Part of the plan for getting rid of the barn was to address them, and this is essentially that part of the plan. So Sarah and Noel have been working on trying to find a good solution to addressing the Japanese knotweed. And the solution that they've come up with is to use goats to eat the majority of the vegetative mass, herbicides to kill it off, and then smother what remains with fabric and bark mulch, essentially, or wood chip mulch of some type. And so CCF did write them a letter of support because it's right next to the CCF land the land in Billerica that CCF owns.
Does that include by the dog pound as well? Yeah, he had his dogs there and built a huge dog pound, feed the dogs. On the other side where the pond was.
The kennel with a fence thing?
Yeah.
You don't know anything about that.
So there was a map with the package that showed both places. One was, if you're standing in the pond, was to the left of the barn. The other was to the right of the barn, back where the caretaker's house used to be. That's the fence.
No, this is on the other side of the access road driveway.
Yeah.
In that field,
Yeah.
way back then, we
Right.
had those dogs.
Right.
Yeah, because it's huge.
That's where the caretaker's house used to be.
Well, I thought it was the foundation.
It's where the project was. Yeah, that's where that's where I think it's been for the longest time. The Japanese knotweed.
Can you pull that up and show the pictures? I have not had it.
I haven't attached. Joined.
So as you guys know from looking around
Yeah,
town,
I
Japanese knotweed
Get
is
on to.
extremely good at
Are you not
propagating
in?
itself.
Oh,
And what the main
That-
concern that I have in particular
So I didn't
about this
wanna have
Japanese
any-
knotweed is how close it
Sounds-
is to the
sounds either.
pond.
Yeah.
Because those rhizomes break off and
Okay.
wander away, and then you end up with it throughout the watershed. So I think it's a very good thing that Noel and Sarah have been striving to get this done. My 2 cents.
I think we need to start with something.
Gotta let yourself in.
I'm just waiting. So. What did you want me to share?
The there were some other pictures that
Yeah.
showed the dogs thing in that. Is that this one? I just held it up a minute ago, but. Oh, it's in the. It's in this part of the document.
The NOI. Yeah, that's where I am.
It looks like it's the second page. It's part of the introduction.
Yeah, that map, we can blow that up. So the red circle is close to where the barn used to be, and the yellow circle is the one that Shane was talking about.
Where the kennel is, yeah.
So funny, it doesn't go full. If you X out where the participants are, will that open up the screen?
Yes.
That's a little better.
So you can see the barn right underneath the red circle.
Yeah.
This is an image from when the barn was still there.
I think there's a chain link fence down near the yellow circle.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
the kennel, the big kennel there, like 7 feet by 40 feet. So there was a cottage there.
Yes.
Yeah. And I did see the foundation across from where the barn was there towards the water.
It was taken out in around 2006, something like that, 5, 6, 7 in there somewhere.
And a pile of rubble, big pile of rubble there and everything. Down on the yellow as well.
Are they all good?
I think so.
Right, so I'm trying to figure out when what I don't understand is when the herbicides come in. Is that
After the goats and before the smothering.
before it's smothered? Okay. Is that just something that's sprayed on, or you know what kind of,
I think, no, after, there's
is
something,
it painted on?
it's usually like, it was at Bakewell, used to have what he called his death stick, which he dumped with an absorbent tip to it, and he dipped it into his pail and then touched the
End of the
stem.
stem, yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
And so not sprayed, but touched.
I think it's timed, something to do with the flowering.
Yeah. I don't think they've worked out all the details yet, but they're working with a licensed applicator to figure out exactly how to apply the herbicide for maximum effect. So,
I think it sounds in the description here that because they use in the herbicide says finally, it sounds like they're planning on using it if the smothering doesn't work.
That's what I first read, but if you scroll down a little further in recommended actions, it looks like it's you eat them
They apply the
You apply
herbicide
it.
and then,
and then you smother. So it's just a little conflict. I don't, as long as this is not the approval to do it, if it
right.
needs wetlands approval or anything else, you have to go to conscom.
Yeah. All you guys need to do
Just
today is
let-
to decide whether you're gonna approve the letter.
You know,
The details of how they actually do it is something for next summer. So you have 6 months to tell them your input on that.
this is just.
So can I get a motion to write a letter of support for the application of the grant?
I move that we support the application.
So moved.
I move that LSC support Conscom's application for the SUASCO grant for the multi-phase application for Japanese knotweed mitigation at Greeno.
Sounds good. Second, anybody second?
second,
Okay. And we'll do another voice vote. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Yeah. Okay. Anything else from you? Or?
Me?
Yeah.
No.
Okay.
I'm here for later stuff still. Farther down your agenda.
Do we want to change anything around on the agenda so he doesn't have to sit here all night?
It's not that far away.
Okay.
Well, actually, it might be, depending on how long this lasts, but I'm here for the phosphor stuff.
You've seen it.
Yeah.
You've seen our meetings.
Well, I guess that's up to Warren. Warren wants the budget and table Z, so. But actually, we're still in
Well, they,
liaison reports.
Any more?
Want to just do it?
Why don't you do it? I'd limit it to an hour, you know?
Okay.
5 minutes.
As far as Conscom goes, there was, just in the liaison, if we can finish up liaison reports.
Yep.
Right, there was a discussion about, and just for everybody's information, this is not something we need to action on, but the River Meadow Brook has been,
Flooding.
well, yeah, I'm not sure the flooding is that bad. Certainly not as bad as it was
Right.
last summer.
Oh, yeah.
But there was some discussion about, what to do. The Friends offered to move it when the water was still above freezing, but I don't think we can do it now.
Right. I would worry about the beavers. I mean, if there's any lodges on the other side,
We didn't,
dropping the water will expose
yeah,
them and kill them.
I don't think the lodge is anywhere between there and they're coming from they're working their way down from the bog, I think. We didn't see any lodges anywhere or any cache. So, but it's also blocked, and I went down there to look after the Conscom meeting. It's also the driveway in your neighborhood.
Yes.
That goes
Yeah.
off. There's quite a big one there as well.
Right, but that has a whole mill pond there from back in
Right.
1700s.
So it's
It can handle the water.
okay.
Yeah.
So it's a pond. It's the beaver pond then.
It was, well, it was the actual, that's where the Mill Pond Lane got its name, is there used to be the old,
Okay.
grist mill from
Oh, cool.
1700s.
Other than that, the bog got cleared off by the Friends.
Right, the dam number one,
Dam number one got cleared off. by
not the whole
Friends.
pond.
Not the bog. The dam number one got cleared off by the Friends, and then the contractor came in the next day to clear it off for the town. So a little miscommunication there, but anyway, it's cleared off thanks to Alex's big machine. And there was no ag committee meeting last month. It was canceled.
And there's no rep from the select board, so. All right, so should we jump to FOSS?
Sure.
Are you okay?
Christina's here.
Does she have her hand up?
Yes.
She's been here.
Does she, yeah, does she have anything from the SC?
Oh,
So it's a liaison.
Technically, she's a liaison.
Christina, do you have any update from ESC?
Nothing pertinent right now. We're working on figuring out a wildlife corridor project, sort of mapping migration patterns and just greater information about how wildlife corridors are function in Carlisle. But we're just trying to sort of figure out and lock in the details of that project. But nothing specific yet. Thanks.
Okay. All right.
Remember to put that on the agenda.
What?
The
ESC.
ESC, yeah. She was appointed to this rep before you joined.
Oh, okay.
She just, so isn't yes,
All right.
able to make it.
All right, so we'll add that to our boilerplate. So maybe we should do FOSS Farm.
Yep. Hey, Jonathan, you want your new rules?
Yeah, so I was here last meeting and I told you that I was gonna write new rules. And so now that I've written them, they're available for your review and comment. You don't have to approve them today. You can do it in your January meeting if you have lots of comments. I have received 3 comments back from gardeners. One was a minor change of wording that changed the word get to be offered, something like that, in one spot. And One was a minor change to add the address to mail your checks onto the form so that people would know where to send their checks. If they didn't want to just come here to town hall and drop them off. And then the third one was to add a section to poll the gardeners about some of the questions that I mentioned we were having trouble solving last time, including the concept of going to no-till instead of tilling the gardens. And so I have updated the current version that I have to deal with the first two, but not the last one. Since you don't have it in front of you, you probably don't want to vote on it other than to vote on it, say, as amended.
Well, everybody got it in their package.
Yeah, I'm just saying I did make some minor changes to that draft.
Oh, I'm sorry. After
After I sent it, yeah. And so if you did want to vote on it, I'd ask you to do something where you said, as amended appropriately, so that if anyone else comes in with new changes, that I can do that. I do believe I need to get it from you guys, and then I think it needs to go to Conscom for official blessing from them as well. But we can do all that in January. So this is mostly just here is your first opportunity to tell me you would like changes to it, or otherwise tell me you don't think should be any change. Go good, or whatever.
Was the abandonment always in there, or is that a new thing?
That's always been there. That's our biggest problem is gardeners that start and then are overwhelmed and fail. Sometimes there's just cause for it. A lot of abandonment happens because of medical issues. And so the gardener can't keep up with their garden anymore. But we do typically need some way to deal with it, because when gardens get abandoned, they turn into nasty weed piles.
So you don't weed for people?
No, I personally don't weed for them, but I do have a whole group of helpers.
Yeah.
And I keep sending them email, and for some reason they just don't go out and do it. So I'll have to work on getting better helpers, I guess.
Those weeds could be some native plant.
They could. The definition of a weed is a plant out of place. And so it could be a native plant out of place.
Can you go back to the question about no-till? So this is a matter of discussion amongst the gardeners.
Yes. So there are, just to give you guys a brief overview, there's a small group of gardeners who would very much like to go to no-till. And the reasons why they want no-till are for three things usually. One is they believe that it's better ecologically to go to no-till. One is that they don't like taking their fences down every year, and so they don't want to have to take their fence down and put them back up. And the third one is that they would like to plant actual perennials.
Right.
And so perennials being things like asparagus and garlic and stuff like that. And if we plow, those things don't do well. The difficulty with perennials is you can very quickly have people decide that they want to have maple trees as their perennials, and they just keep paying for the garden, and you end up with maple trees. Or they might decide buckthorn is a really nice perennial. And so writing the rules for perennial gardens is difficult to make sure that you have something that's not overly onerous, lets people do reasonable things, but doesn't cause trouble. And so the main issue you have with anything like this, till versus no till, is that it's kind of a binary situation. And you have some gardeners who adamantly want to have till gardens and some gardeners who adamantly want to have no till gardens. And so you have to find a way to balance both. And the difficulty we have as management of the gardens is the plow that comes through is 22 feet wide and 40 feet long, and cannot choose to do tilling of one garden and not the garden immediately next to it. And so I am trying to organize a working group of gardeners that are interested in going no-till and having them try to think through these problems and see if we can come up with some interesting solution, right? Some ideas that have been batted around is, can we make one of the rows no-till and the other one be till and organize everyone accordingly? One of the cool things that Concord does actually is every garden is split half down the middle, and half the garden is no-till and the other half is till. So every gardener has both. So that's kind of a interesting way to go about it, but they use a much smaller tractor. Our tractor, when it comes through, it does most of the garden in one shot. And so, yeah, Farmer Duffy has very large equipment. And so it's amazing that it fits on the size of plots that we have, but it does. So, anyways, I'm just trying to organize the gardeners to have them think about this. It's not something for this year, because we need to get this done by January, and this is a much larger problem than you could possibly solve by January. So, but the group that's thinking about it would like me to start polling other gardeners so that like-minded people can find each other and start to think about it. So, yep.
The changes are in red. The changes to this version are in red.
Yes, relative to
Last year.
2025, 2026 rules. And I sent 2 copies to you. One is the clean copy, so you can actually read it, because I find that when you have change bars and whatnot turned on in Microsoft Word, it's wonderful to tell you what actually changed, but you cannot understand what is there anymore. It becomes incomprehensible. So anyways, you guys don't have to vote on this tonight, but much like the last thing that we talked about, if you want to tell me this is a warm, fuzzy feeling, or you have lots of concerns about that, one of those 2 things would help me kind of finalize the crafting of it, so that when I give it to you in January, it's a very quick thing that you can just say, yep, we saw this before, approved, here we go.
Does anybody have any concerns?
I have a question for my ethics advisor about, and I'm looking at you, Alice.
Wake up.
Because I don't see a major problem, but if you're a gardener, can you vote on your own rules?
I didn't hear that.
This is actually an interesting thing, because there is financial stuff in here, and although I'm not changing the value, it does affect how much you pay.
My sense is that it's not. I can act. I feel in my heart I can separate my land steward duties from my gardening duties.
From $25?
Okay.
Well, my plot is in Laura's name, so I'm fine.
But you may be, you may not be the principal, but you may be
The beneficiary.
well, no, but there's like.
Yeah, there's a co-gardener.
A co-gardener.
Yeah. And if he's not on the co-gardener list, then he's not allowed into the.
Did I make a comment?
Sure.
A number of years ago, we went through a spell where they changed a lot of rules. It was probably between 10 or 15 years. And in looking around at what other towns were doing, one of the things that I noticed that was never adopted in this town, and I think I understand why, all the gardeners were required to put in a certain amount of time as volunteers for the whole community garden project. Some would help with stakeout, and some might mow, or I don't know all of the little jobs that were available. And sometimes, something like that takes more time to manage than it does to actually do it yourself. But it was an interesting way of looking at it, and sort of like when the Red Balloon Nursery School was going. Everyone had the kids there had projects to do.
Well, I think I think Clark Farm runs a similar thing, right? Where if you're part of the CSA, you can come and volunteer.
Okay.
There. So yes, it is something that I've thought about. I happen to have a really good situation right now where I have 3 assistants and about 15 helpers, all of whom are gardeners. And so although the garden management job is in itself a ton of work, just the logistics and whatnot and managing, all the work that needs to be done, I do have a very good group of people that are assisting with actually getting it done. So, no major complaints there. I'm not out there slaving away on town land all by myself for the benefit of 100 gardeners. So,
I enjoy your newsletter.
thank you.
So do you want to talk about your speed bumps?
Yeah, so I guess I'm getting the warm fuzzy that this is all okay with you guys, and so I should just carry on. And when I bring it to you in January in its final form, it'll be a quick chat.
So,
Okay. So yes, so the speed bump is in. I don't remember if before the last meeting if I had put in the signs or whatnot, but the signs are in.
The sign was in, but the bump was gone.
Okay.
It was like a temporary bump.
Yeah, that was a work in progress. So so the sign went in. If you haven't seen it, go take a walk down at Voss and look. It's very cute. There's a couple of Blandings turtles on the sign that ask you to please drive slowly. That picture was taken by Zoo New England, and I got their official copyright permission to use it on the sign. They are very happy with the sign that I produced with it. That turtle that's on there is a Blandings turtle. I believe that it's one of the turtles that was raised by the 5th grade class. And so they got a nice picture of it. It's on somebody's hand with a nice, background of reeds and whatnot. Yes, I believe his name is Chubby Oreo. So, yes.
I know your sign is very popular with the dog.
Oh yeah, as a place to be. Yes, I imagine it is.
No, but stainless steel.
It is good solid galvanized steel, and what they sold me was the gray stuff, and so I painted it, and an enormous amount of effort to paint a sign with all those holes in it. So
this is an important female relay.
yes, so so hopefully it's protected from acid rain, shall we call it? So, but yeah, the sign is in. I think it looks great. Then Jim from the DPW dropped off a pile of gravel for me. And so I spread the gravel out, fixing the potholes and making the speed bump. And Chris helped me by coming out with a compactor. We used the tractor to actually form the bumps, and then the compactor to hopefully compact them into something that will not immediately fall apart.
So how many bumps are there?
There's 2 bumps, so it's basically it's what I call a speed table.
Up and down.
Yeah, so you go up a bump and then you drive across the top of the table and then you drop off. So it's a little bit, the distance between the 2 bumps around the speed bump sign is a little bit more than the wheelbase of the car. So you essentially go up, then down. So we'll see how this works. It is just a gravel speed bump. I expect it will degrade, but at the same time, because it's made out of some really good compactable gravel, I should in theory be able to take the tractor back, push it back into shape, and then compact it around a little bit to get it to return. Yes, for a while after, so most of my experience with moving stuff with the tractor is to make it not be bumpy. And so after I speed bumps, what you saw was that I had done this excellent job of smoothing it out, such that the place where the speed bump was the smoothest place to glide a car in the entire road. And so it was humorous. I had my wife drive her little Volvo across it. And she's like, yeah, that is not a speed bump. So fortunately Chris came out to help me turn it into a speed bump. If this doesn't work out, there's a bunch of other things we can try to see, what we can make that will actually stick around and be a bump. It is at the point right now where I think 3 miles an hour is a good amount to hit it. If you go much more than that, your car kind of jolts on you. So I think people will slow down in this particular area. However, much like any other speed bump, you can get your vehicle back up to speed in very short order. And so I think it's more of a reminder that people should be going at a reasonable pace than a preventative measure to prevent them from going too fast. So, I will also comment that these things are not cheap. So the community gardens, takes in about $2,500 a year. And with the gravel for the speed bump was over $200.
Oh, the town didn't give it to you?
And no, the town did not give it to me. I had to pay for it. And the signage was on the order of $600, I think. And so we spent a substantial portion of our entire revenue for the year making one speed bump. So
couldn't we get the town to give you the gravel next time?
so Jim has to pay for the gravel one way or the other. So it either comes out of Jim's budget or the community garden budget.
Okay.
So
Or
all
I would
depends
think,
on.
I mean, it's a conservation property, it could come out of LSC budget.
Yeah, these things, yeah, it can come from anywhere. But this was my idea as a thing that we would try. So I thought it appropriate to use garden funds to do it. But you know, most of the garden funds are intended to be used in keeping the wells running well. So that's what I should be keeping it for, not for crazy other ideas.
The other thing it's good for is for fixing the rails. On the
Yes.
parking lot and the gate, up to keep the riprap from running off with our
Yeah.
food.
Yes, we also did repair that. We've done a whole bunch of projects this fall, the helpers and I. So one of them was repairing all the fencing around the parking lot. We also pulled a bunch of invasives that were here and there along the edge of the road. I forget what else we did. You remember, Chris? These are two of my helpers, by the way.
Yeah, fence. Oh, we put up signs. We moved a sign.
Yeah, that's right. We fixed, so the gate was kind of acting like a joist, like a medieval joisting pole. So when you drove towards it, it kind of felt really scary until you made the last curve. And it was also getting hit repeatedly by the large farm equipment. And so we moved it back 2 feet. I don't think anybody can tell that we moved it other than that we know we moved it. But we did move the opening of the gate so it opens wider now. And we replaced the old sign that had gotten broken by the farm equipment with a new sign that says something about permit, something about vehicles only by permit or something like that. I forget exactly what the wording is. Yeah, something like that. But it's there's a sign there that kind of indicates that only people that are supposed to go through the gate are supposed to go through there.
So if you had plenty of money, how many more speed bumps would you put in?
I don't think I'd put in any more right now because I want to see how this goes. Right? I want to see, does it last? Do people actually pay attention and go at a reasonable pace? I think the signs that Julie made last year really made a big difference. I think a lot of people started just because of the communication that I was doing to the gardeners and that signage reminder. I did not see people cruising at 20 miles an hour plus through there. I saw people doing much more reasonable speeds of 10 miles an hour or less. The official speed limit is 5 miles an hour. It is often hard to get vehicles to idle that slowly across the area, but and it feels really slow. But in my experience, if you're doing about between 5, 10, at most 12 miles an hour, you're going to be avoiding hitting wildlife. You can see stuff and whatnot. Yeah, little turtles. I also had the gardeners come out this year and walk the path a bunch of times and remove debris because if there's pine cones and stuff on the road all over the place, you as a driver can't tell the difference between a pine cone and a turtle. So I asked them to walk every time they take their dogs for a walk to just pick up all the pine cones and throw them into the woods. Then when the next driver comes through and there's a black thing on the road, you can go, oh, that might not be a pine cone. And so I think, yeah. So I think these things have made a difference because in the beginning of the year, before we had this, we did have a number of turtle deaths in March and early April. But then once Julie's signs went up and I started communicating with the gardeners, I don't know of any that have happened since then. So I think it's working. I hesitate to put in too many punitive speed bumps and stuff like that. If it's already working, we don't need to, go over the top. But I also want to see how it goes. Oh, and I should also mention that the location of the speed bump I worked out with Farmer Duffy because he does drive his equipment across this road as well. So he needed it in a place where it was not going to interfere with his use of the field. And so that's why, for example, the sign is away from the field, because otherwise when he comes through and harvests corn, he's got one thing driving down the road and the actual harvester is running next to it. And it could easily take out the sign, and I didn't want it to be driven over by somebody. Oh, and by the way, the sign is held in with screws that can't be removed without an angle grinder. And it's held down by 100 feet of or 100 pounds of concrete. And so even though the sign is beautiful, I don't think we're going to lose signs to people stealing them, I hope, because you would literally need a tractor to be able to pull this thing out of the ground, or an angle grinder.
And unfortunately, those are battery operated.
That's true. You could just show up with one and make a mess. The individual sign, believe it or not, is only $27. So if you know somebody that wants one, I would much rather make one for you than have you steal mine.
The bump one or the?
No, the bump one is more expensive. It's like $54 or something. But the one that has the turtle on it is only $27.
I just have one comment, and that is that what I've seen a lot since I come off in there, is that people come into the parking lot and they speed up as they're heading to the gate. And then they whip down the curve. And then little by little, they start to slow. But that first area, I mean, sometimes they're going really fast in the parking lot. So you get a chance in the spring to remind people.
Yeah.
And
Go slow in that spot.
yeah, I mean, there's all kinds of things walking in that parking lot. It has nothing to do with nature.
Right.
Kids and dogs and horses and, it just can't happen.
Yeah.
I think
It's sort of held back for a long way, right? And then you're out. And it's probably sort of natural.
Yeah. Is it when people are leaving the gardens or when they're coming to the gardens? When they're coming in.
I mean, since I'm there often, I'm assuming that, like many of us, if you've been driving on the highway, coming home from work or going to work or that kind of thing, and then you hit normal roads, you may be going too fast because you're in highway mode.
Right.
And because I've seen some of the gardeners going at least 25, 30 miles an hour down the road. And that's really, that's the part that has to stop. So I think your start is excellent, and yeah, I learned about speed table the other day.
Yes.
I didn't know what a speed table was until I hit it.
At 25 miles an hour?
You couldn't see it.
Yeah.
On a road.
And this is the same way. If that sign was not there telling you there was a speed table here, you would hit it and they would go, oh my God, I'm in a tree.
I know.
So, yeah. But that is probably, so the area you described, Judy, is probably the next place if we decide we need another one. It's that long straight stretch from the curve by the gate until the curve that goes past the two horse rinks. That's a really straight stretch with a relatively, there's not a whole lot of potholes or anything there. When it rains, interestingly, it does cause rivulets to show up there, but that is probably where I would put the next one if we decide we would need another one.
Yeah.
All right, can we go on to the parking lot repair? Because
I think it's sort of, did you touch on it? Did you repair the fencing or is there more to it?
So parking lot, I think, is not me, right?
No, it's Shane and I.
Okay.
So, all we can tell you right now is that, Shane and I met with one of two interesting, folks who specialize in doing any kind of projects, that include erosion control or parking lot management or building cellars and that kind of thing. And so we got ideas from them, but that's where all it went, okay? But one of them is promising to send us sort of a map, if you will, about the parking lot. And both of these guys They both live in Carlisle. They're both friends of DPW or connected. And they said, you know, DPW and people like us all have the same knowledge and the same tools. And the most important part is that what DPW has been doing, coordinated with climate change, has been causing the problem in the parking lot. Okay, so it used to be in the winter it would all freeze very solid, and when the DPW would plow, it would just plow some snow, okay, and it was done. But now we're not getting the frozen substrate thing, and so when they plow the sand up to the edge. I'm sure you saw when you were repairing some of the fence lines. And so now there's a grade that goes from the entrance into the road down to the community gardens, down to where you enter through the gate, not the gate, the little entrance way. Okay, so the water is basically channeling down there. It's caused some problems. There was also a bunch of deposited asphalty like stuff, maybe dumped there or put there thinking that it would solve some of these problems, and instead it caused more problems because you had hard substrate and it caused erosion because the rain would hit it and run off into the sand and cause a rivulet. Okay, it got bigger and bigger. So they said it would be very easy to grade, but you don't want to just like put more dirt there. You want to grade, you want to take it away from the sides and smooth it out, compact it, and it should work. Am I missing anything, Tim?
Nope.
Okay.
Grading.
Right, so we thought that the LSC could chat with DPW first and see if this was something in their purview that we want to work on, or should we try to get one of the two guys that we met that they answered sort of the bid concept and get all of them working together. I mean, they're all Carlisle people, so maybe we can get them to work together. So, or combine the DPW talk to help with the parking lot, and they have helped with the parking lot before for free, essentially, and combine it with Trails and LSC talking to DPW, sort of have a beginning of the town working on some of this stuff. So.
Good.
So there's nothing to do right now, just like what Jonathan was saying. So it's just that's the state that it is. And it would be a good thing to work on in January, February.
That's not when we should be grading it though.
That's what? No.
January, February isn't.
No, we'd be discussing it.
Okay. So, yes, with other interested groups for.
The other people haven't really been super excited to send me like, estimates. So I think it's a, they were very kind to educate, and that might be where they leave it. I'm not sure.
Well, both require a little prodding.
Excuse me?
Both require a little prodding.
Yes.
Yeah.
I have done that.
All right, so should we do a time check and figure out what else you want to get done?
Send you the names.
Well, it's 8:30. So I think, we want to finish the 2027 budget and table D. What order would you like to do those in? Warren?
I suspect, again, I've not heard the details on due dates, but this should be simple. We agreed, I think, in detail as well as in principle on changes to the requested FY 2027 budget. I made the changes. They're here. This is the last opportunity, if there are more tweaks, to say so. If there are no more tweaks, there should be a formal vote, and then Suki, you can decide who it gets sent to with the attachments, which were mostly, I think, Judy's. This references two attachments, which when you submit it, two attachments referenced. I have them, you should have them. And if you want, if it's changes on this, I'll make them, give you the attachments, but you should have them. There's been no changes. So we need to ask people if there's any more number changes, and if not, accept this as is.
Well, actually, been checking bluebird houses around town, and I've noticed that the number of them need to be, they're kind of rotting, have holes in them and stuff. So I checked online for how much what's the cheapest we can get a cedar bluebird house for. It's about $15. I think we need between 20 and 30 more houses, which would come to between $300 and $450.
How much? What was the total?
Between $300 and $450. Depends on, I haven't checked all of them yet. I mean, we could postpone it to next year, but.
It's up to everybody here. I'll reiterate what I said last time, which is we are well below what LSC asked for the current fiscal year. And that, for better or for worse, is a key parameter in the review in the downstairs room by the select board and the FinCom when they meet, is what's your budget relative to last year? And the guidance is for little folks like us, they don't want us to be any higher than we were last year.
I want you 1% less or something like that.
Yeah. And I would just say that too, that I would hope that that you or whoever took charge would make sure that we have volunteers to put them in, that their location go through some review process, because there are some properties that have sufficient numbers now and others that don't, and you do need somebody to, and it maybe should be the stewards assigned to that property who agree to maintain them. And since this is, I'll throw in now, this is a good time for those who have bluebird boxes on their properties. If you haven't done your fall clean out, it should be done now. But I have no objection. It's up to everybody here. We can certainly afford to put this in, and I would just ask if we vote yes, that you send me your details and I'll add a line item. It's not a big deal. And I'll do it, have you ever heard of a deadline for, are we up against any sort of imminent deadline to get this in?
I think we are.
Yeah, Black Friday.
Well, nobody told us, Sylvia, we don't get any, we have not gotten any official announcement. So it's their fault.
I think it was something has been submitted that Megan had.
What?
Megan had, that document there, and I think she may have put it in as part of the COSCOM budget.
If you can get me something, within a day or two.
Yeah, like it's a Thursday night's agenda.
So could we vote on it subject to?
But we have one more.
I think she left what you had last year in there. And it was just
well, last year was like $10,000 more.
Yeah.
So.
Well, there is so much there that you don't have a quote for now.
Yes.
With all the mowing, that it just seemed wise to keep it the way it was, because you don't know what those costs are going to be.
Okay.
You don't even have a vendor.
Except that I would then let somebody else go before FinCom when it's time for us to defend this and try and explain the difference. But
she had nothing else to go by, so she had.
Well, put it this way: if LSC wants to add this, which I think is fine, and if Julie gets me the raw information she has, I'll put it in here and send it to you, and you people can just send it on up the line and let them worry about changing CONSCOM's overall budget or not.
Well, the Bluebird houses, Christina of ESC brought to my attention that she has quite a bit of houses built by Boy Scouts or somebody, and so the spring there might be some left over from the public that they don't take them all. So if this is something that she might want to add on to. You there, Christina?
Hi. So we have 30 Bluebird houses as part of Route to Sustainability Day to give out to members of the public who will be attending the event. Similar to the bat houses that we did last year.
So there are 10 land stewards. Can we each take 3?
That kind of defeats the purpose, I think, but it's first come, first served at Route to Sustainability Day.
I have a feeling they'll be snatched up by the public.
I think, I'm so sorry.
Yeah, go ahead.
No, I think so too, and it's just another way to hopefully raise awareness and serve as a draw to the event and all of that.
All right. I'd like to try an experiment with these houses with bluebirds, since the tree swallows have been taking over these houses with bluebirds. If I thought about, I heard that doubling up on these houses, putting them side by side, just 2 of them, that might just be okay with the bluebirds, but it's not okay with the tree swallows. Something I might want to try, so we can get the bluebirds back like they originally were.
I'd have to check with Tom Brownrigg, who I think kind of specialized in this for many, many years before we decided on a final layout plan. So I think we need his input on any new protocol for placing these things.
Well, this is something that has been happening for a couple of years now. These tree swallows have moved in.
Well, it's been actually for, as far as I know, ever since we've had them. They've been sharing, for years. I know the ones at Toll, and I think almost everywhere, as well as the field mice been sharing them.
Yes.
That's normal, yeah.
One of each.
But just for say 10 or 15 of these houses, double them up.
Okay. Well, that can be decided later.
That'll do the trick.
If we want to do this, what I think I would like, and if there was a vote, to have Julie indicate again what she checked out, and have the approval of the vote here be a vote on the total amount rounded that Julie has estimated.
Which was $450.
How much?
$450, I think at the most.
Yeah. Maybe I can build some as well. Since I grabbed some wood.
I looked at our favorite design, and Tom's is at Boss, and so we looked on the internet for a similar design, and found the $15 boxes that looked a lot like Tom's favorite design.
Okay, good. I'll go with anything that Tom recommended. For me, the key issue has always been, which way do you get to the clean out?
Yeah.
And the ones that have the bottom that fold are just awful. I like the ones with the front piece folds up.
Mm-hmm. We found those two. This is a detail we probably don't want to spend time on.
We don't need to discuss the design tonight.
May I add something? Oh, I'm so sorry.
No, go ahead.
We do have budget for Eagle Scout project. We ESC, and so we haven't been approached for this coming season projects, and so this could be something that could tie into the Eagle Scout project, depending on timing.
Sylvia wants
Yeah.
to say something.
I ran into Eric Evans the other day and he asked me to keep the scouts in mind for scout projects, the Eagle Scout projects or any kind of projects. And certainly bluebird houses I would think be on that list. And as far as reorganizing how the bluebird houses are in Toll, those houses are placed on stakes that show where rocks are for the mower. And you might be able to double them up, but basically you want to make sure the mower knows where the boulders are. So it doesn't ruin his equipment whenever you're there.
Right, so I moved to have the Bluebird box money added to the budget,
Not to exceed,
not to exceed, we'll say $500.
yes.
Second.
All
Okay.
in favor?
Okay. Send me some details of what just for backup. It'll just be a footnote and,
Yeah, I'll send you a picture of what we thought was.
no picture, just words.
Okay, very good.
How we came up with this estimate.
Okay.
That's basically in other words, how many boxes and cost and the source of the per box cost.
Okay.
Think of the bean counters and looking for the basis for the estimate.
Okay. Sounds good.
Can I ask a question about the budget? Have you looked from last year to this year, or from current budget to next year's proposed budget, and where is the $10,000 missing? I guess what I'm.
Okay, so we talked about the 10,000 was mostly duplication for cranberry bog mowing and fixing up that was in both Conscom and LSC budgets. They ended up paying for it.
Okay.
So,
Who did?
and that's what we used for our annual retreat.
Yeah, okay, that's what paid for all the whiskey.
To Bailey's.
So who paid for the mowing?
Well, we didn't, LSC didn't, but it was in our budget. Because it was so confusing. I mean, it wasn't, we weren't talking to Conscom at that time of who was gonna pay for what. So I'll put this in and send it to you, and I'll resend you the attachments, just so the attachments say, you send it to Conscom and FinCom or select, Ryan, and make, let them decide what to do with it.
Okay.
I think FinCom, based on my experience doing this a couple or three times for Conscom, this FinCom is not really interested in all of the details of the breakdown. So I think what should happen with this document is to go up to Conscom so that I think it's a good document for reviewing everything that the LSC proposes to do in the next fiscal year. They can look at it, and again, as Sylvia said, the numbers are our best estimates right now. But I think it's better for Conscom to go to FinCom and say, we'll live within the 1% guidelines from the last year's budget, knowing that it really seems practical based on what you did. But I doubt very much that FinCom is going to be looking at and saying, well, gee, can you not do this year?
3 less bird boxes.
Right,
3 less
right.
bird boxes, like that.
I could do.
I went down through your tables and reorganized it and sent it off to Megan, and I guess it didn't get to you. I put all the mowing in one category, and I put each of the other items that you do, took it out of what the conservation land you were using it on, and just put it in columns to see what was being done and what had, and having a hard time explaining, but organizing it. And the first column was mowing, and I don't think there was any mowing activity there where you actually knew what it was gonna cost next
Right.
year. And
Still-
the only things that you knew what were gonna be costing was the, soil and water sampling, because you had quotes for that, but nothing else did you have a quote for. And so it's very hard to provide with a budget when you don't really know what the costs are going to be.
Well, we did have a scope.
Yeah, I mean, you've got ideas, but
No, but we had a scope and an agreement. So with Sam Bell, okay, it was 100 and,
We had prior quotes from somebody else.
right, but these vendors are not available anymore, so that one doesn't.
But it was, we had a basis for our quotes, just not real
Right.
quotes.
But then they're not available.
So should we go on to the CPA funding? Environmental management expert?
Yeah.
yes.
Judy, you're looking at me.
Well, you are the knowledgeable guy of our PPA.
The first, I guess, official event is the CPC meeting on December 15. And that's really a CPC kind of looking to see a broad overview of what, applications they can expect to receive. Applications for CPC funding are not actually due until their early February meeting. So one of us, Judy, or both of us, should go to the CPC meeting on the 15th.
You
just
can't,
to
because
get-
that's the Woodward.
Okay. Yeah, that's a problem. But in any event, so
Or the Woodward subcommittee could be moved,
we have a guest.
if necessary.
Yeah, it's not easy.
Well, we can just, they're pretty flexible. We can just submit something in writing to them. In any event, so Judy and I have started trying to create a project for CPA funding to have a professional land management group do a environmental assessment of several of the parcels that are under active management, and then to prepare for us sort of, I would call it a long-term strategy for the management of the conservation lands and recommendations for best management practices based on each of the parcels involved. The parcels we selected for the Cranberry Bog, Toll, Fox Hill, Benfield, Boss Farm, Woodward, Greenock, Bisbee, and potentially Hutchins Robbins, but probably not. And Judy and I have been in contact with various different people to try to get a sense of the amount of money that we should be applying to CPA for. I've spoken with Oxbow and with SVT, and both of them have promised to review what we're thinking about and give us both comments on what the scope should be and what they think the ballpark estimate of the cost would be. So that's still in process. And Judy, you've spoken with
Yeah, a couple other entities.
Or other
Filterscaping and I was really hoping Audubon might be interested. And there was one more that's escaping me right now, but, the concern is though that many consultants and other such people don't really want to give a number, okay? Because the scope has to have the number. So, you know, for instance, the original one we had, we all voted last month that, the fee would not exceed 5,000, okay? And, you know, we originally started with 2,500, realized that's really very few hours. So 5,000, but, one of the things I did do is I reached out to Dan Jaffe Wilder, okay, who is a very famous Massachusetts, land management expert. Okay, and I said, I know you're not doing it anymore, but can you give us an idea of something? And so he tossed out, between $115 an hour, to $200 an hour if he was on the property. Okay, so 115 was really more getting here, you know, that kind of thing. So he gave us some ideas, but they're just ballpark. And so the reason we want to discuss it tonight is because CPA, deadline is hovering. And not only do we have to do it, we have to make decisions for us, but we have to go to Conscom and involve Conscom. And then I believe you said, Alex, that it should be from Conscom that applies to
Yeah.
CPA, right?
The CPA application would have to be submitted by Conscom.
Yeah.
We can do all the preparatory work and
Right, but it shouldn't be all that difficult. But the key is that the budget is 2027, okay, that we're working on. CPA, does it start in fiscal year 2027?
Yeah, I think so.
Yes, okay, so what about the next 6 months, okay? That before 2027 starts, okay, fiscal year. So, you know, this is a problem when you have fiscal year versus reality of months and time of year. So we have 5,000 already approved for a scope that could go right out to be sent to these different people for the months of January to the end of June. And then meanwhile, CPA and say, you know, we need to move from that onwards with the CPA funds. And I don't know how, this is not my forte, but I don't know how we go back and forth. Do we do nothing with an expert? Do we, you know, for the next 6 months, or do we go with what we already voted, the scope that we already
This
voted?
5,000, you know, and this FY 2027 doesn't come available till July 1.
Well, that's right, that's right, so it's the same thing.
We don't have any.
But you did say that we have money right now.
Okay, we have a budget. What is hard is that it's not being spent that quickly. So if you asked our leadership here, are we spending less than we planned or more than we planned? We don't know. It's very likely we're spending right now less than we planned only because we don't have mowers.
Right.
So, if that situation continues and you believe we don't need to do any makeup mowing in the spring,
Yeah.
I would say have an LSC agenda item that says, here's mowing money that's not being used. Let's use it for this.
Right.
And that's, I think, is perfectly fine. So I think, yes, there's a good chance you can get going in the spring if the mowing expenditures are well under budget, as I would project they will be.
Right.
Is it perfectly fine?
It is perfectly fine, and the reason is.
Oh, yeah, I think this would be a slam dunk sell, you know?
I mean,
we have for the current fiscal year, a budget.
and
It's
if we don't
been
use it
approved,
for
but
one
it's not,
thing, we can use it for
Yes.
something
yeah, the
else.
maintenance portion of the budget is not allocated to specific
Yes,
projects.
and Ryan has told us that too.
Right. And the only reason we're not just knee-jerkly running in the early spring to do mowing is that there's many areas that don't need it. There's other areas that do need it. So it would fall into the same purview of the environmental expert, okay? Reviewing the properties, and that's all we need is really, there's really nobody on this committee that is at the level of somebody who has high knowledge about land management. Okay, we're all learning. We need a little guidance. And so having somebody for the next 6 months would be really great if we followed. And then we continue that with the CPA funds, only now we're starting to do stuff. So I just don't know how to pull that together. So.
Well, I think the difference is what was voted by the LSC and approved is for, I would say, consulting services on an ad needed basis. For, some hours here and there. What CPA is intended for is, projects, of a scope that is a continuing value, right? So the idea that Judy and I have been working on is to get a comprehensive plan that we can use as a guide for how we manage properties over, an extended period of time. And, obviously circumstances change, but if you don't start with doing an evaluation of each of the parcels and coming up with a plan of how to manage them.
Right. So I guess the reason we brought it up for tonight is to say, we've got the one that's we've all voted for, and we need to move forward on that. Okay, we voted on that, but the CPA thing came up and it seemed like it was somewhat urgent because we're doing the 2027 budget. So I was a little confused about how to deal with that, but I think we're sort of clear. We just have the budget, we find somebody, and it will give us knowledge as we go forward to the CPA people. And say, this was what we did temporarily, and this is what we want to do permanently, not permanently, but CPA wise.
Can I cycle back? I think I heard you say that without a scope of work, it's hard to get the estimates. Or, yes.
Yeah, the two go hand in hand,
Right.
right? So
are you suggesting that we use the money that we have in the FY 2026 budget that we haven't spent on mowing to pay consultants to help us formulate a scope of work?
No.
No, okay.
So what was voted and approved.
But that was for the 2027 budget.
No, well, perhaps. What was voted, whether it's 2027 or 2026, was consulting services on an ad needed basis.
Right.
If the LSC wanted to make a decision, we was on told we should do X, but let's first ask the consultant if that's a good thing to do or not. That was the nature of that.
That was the nature of that idea.
Yeah.
And Judy was running up against this problem that
Right.
money isn't available until next July.
Except for that,
So
if we have
found
unused funds in the
other
budget.
money.
Yeah, it could be.
But then the other thing is that the CPA grants are for 3 years.
And can be
Correct.
extended.
Yeah, so we're talking about sort of bigger project if we're applying for CPA
Add a
grant.
couple zeros.
Right, so,
Which would be good.
which is why I have it in my head that we're using a smaller amount of money for a consultant to help us
No, yeah. Well, no,
Let's go before.
well,
The
so,
bigger scope.
It's
so,
not, it's not really.
I mean, I don't think it made it into the packet. Judy and I had a scope and, we can't review it, you know, off the cuff here tonight, but, I'll just leave a bunch of copies and we can, you know,
Yeah, I
perhaps
know.
discuss it.
I read it
at the
and then
next
I
meeting.
heard this conversation that seemed to be going in different directions.
Well, it's not really different directions. It's just that, you know, the scopes that we have used for the mowing, and this was sort of taken sort of from that, were designed by Ryan, okay? It's how he wants to do it. It's all official. He signed off on it. And so, but it doesn't have any
What are we talking about? What's
scope of
Brian
work
sign
for
off?
the environmental
Consultant.
management expert, or just call it the consultant, okay? So last month, we voted for an agreement for an environmental management expert consultation services for conservation lands, and we put, it used to be 2,500, and we moved it to 5,000.
Right.
Okay,
That's for next year's budget.
Yes.
That was a budget line item for next year.
Yes.
right,
Yes.
right. However, if we do the CPA thing, it can be a much bigger thing. And so what we're proposing is that for the next 6 months, we use a similar one to use some of the money that we have left over, and see how it goes. I mean, because none of us have worked with a land management expert. We want to see what we would use, how it would work, and what we liked and what we didn't like. And so we may be able to take this agreement that we made for 2027, which is probably going to be defunct, hopefully, if we get CPA funds, that might be bigger, and use this as,
Don't worry about that later. If you
Right.
get two sources of money, then who cares right now? I'd go for
Right.
both.
So your application for CPA money is essentially a separate track.
Yes, yeah. I wouldn't worry about the duplication of funding requests.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it's sort of a new topic, right? We haven't really talked about the CPA request or anything, right? And
but
what's
was
the
a deadline.
purpose of the CPA? Is that something, you said the CPA, there's a deadline for application for CPA funds?
Yeah, the deadline for the CPA applications, I think, is February 2nd.
I see.
My experience has been that if you're almost there, but you're not quite there, you'll get some flexibility on that.
I think they want,
These
excuse
go
me,
to-
as their conscoms liaison, the CPA, they want, and I can't remember the date, but they do want a heads up that something is coming with a sort of an idea or a scope of what it is you're after.
And that's the meeting next Monday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I haven't gotten anything yet from them, so I don't know.
Right. Anyway, so there was the concept of needing to think about having something to CPA, even tentatively, this month, which is why we brought it up in a vote now, because it's gonna have to go to Conscom and be discussed.
And so this was just one other thing about the CPA process is that although an application is supposed to be in the beginning of February, there is then a period of time, actually right up until April, where the application can be refined and added to and completed. So I think, to use Jonathan's words, Judy and I would like the warm and fuzzies to go and talk to CPC about, this idea, give them a heads up that it's coming down the road. And, we can all look at this very rudimentary scope that we prepared and work on the refining it.
So you're making a warm and fuzzy motion? or-
Yeah, I feel like I'm hearing two different things.
Just listen to him.
Okay.
He knows the CPA.
Yeah, I know, I'm just,
I'm torn between.
I mean, there's money we want to spend in March and April, which was nothing to do with the CPC.
No,
that
no,
we're talking
that's a
about.
different, it's two different things.
So, I mean, I think we should put on our agenda for an upcoming meeting, the idea of a long-term plan for the lands. And yeah, Barney mentioned that to me after one of our meetings, that, that would be something that would be a difficult but noble task to have a plan going forward on our lands, have some, invasive policies and things to guide us, manage the property. Similar to the town's, call it, the town plan.
The master plan.
Master plan, thank you. And even, it could be some subgroup of the master plan. Here's so I think that's a great idea, as far as my one was, that kind of concept. And I think that's kind of what CPC is for, is to get those things pulled together. So I just put that.
Would that be called a second? Are you gonna say something?
Second.
Well, I mean, again, I'm not sure what we're voting on.
Yeah, I
On them going to CPC and
Right now, it's just it really is a concept phase, and CPC needs a heads up as to what may be submitted. So they're gonna want to hear from all potential applicants and say, we're thinking about, asking for CPA funds for X or Y.
Do you want to put that into a motion?
well, I think, I not one of you two, I mean, I move that LSC support Astroturf and Para, go bring a proposal to CPC for,
Consulting services.
environmental consulting services, to help with long-term strategies for land management.
Now, there was nobody typing that.
But
It's recorded. We have a
Well,
motion and a
I'm
second.
reminded that I am always impressed by Claudia's as a provider of minutes.
is that something we need a second, or is
We
this?
got-
Yeah, somebody
Seconded.
it was seconded. Now we need to vote.
All in favor?
Aye.
You vote, Alex?
I did,
I don't know, you had your arms folded.
Any opposed?
Yeah.
We need to do the Zoom England thing, because we're on this roll.
Oh, right, okay.
Because that one is critical timing.
Yeah,
Do
we
it.
have, I have 111 I have to get done too. We have to do, which
Okay,
is quick. So it's crucial.
so you guys want to do rock, paper, scissors, or what do you want to do?
No, you do it, Warren, as long as we can.
Okay, number 11 on the agenda.
Land steward report?
Yeah, it's an annual duty, and you all know, got Suki's note that the reporting form is, in a Google document, and she sent you the link. And I just want to remind people that I only want one report per property, so where there are two or more stewards, you have to get together and give input to just one of the stewards for that property, who then consolidates the information from the two or three stewards and sends me one report.
Well,
And
fill out the one, so one person fills out the form
but when fills out the form.
and it automatically gets put on a spreadsheet.
And then two things. One, we have to have, I don't think we vote, but a consensus on when they should be due. And they take but a few minutes to do. So I would either give you two choices and have them do at the end of the calendar year or in the middle of January. I don't know if I'd want to go much beyond that, but we should agree on a date, because if we don't have a due date, they'll never get in.
I think the end of the year is always good, because we can just
Yeah,
make that.
and then after that, we can jump on those that miss it. So say target date is the end of the year. And then I have committed myself for this last time to take all of the reports and put together the 2025 summary annual stewards report. But I'll warn people that it will not happen that quickly because of time constraints, but I'll get to it within a couple, 2 or 3 months. So as long as I get your reports in, I can start working on the thing. That's all I have on that. So we're targeting the end of the year.
Can I ask you a quick question? Is there a steward for the Russell Conservation Land?
What? I can hear.
Is there a steward for the Russell Conservation Land?
Yes,
Oh, good.
somewhere. Except, no, let me back up. There was another agenda item that didn't quite get reinstated on this agenda, which LSC has to do, and that there are now, because of departures or other people figuring they had too much to do. There are now about 3 or 4 or 5 properties that have, as of today, no assigned stewards. And it was going to be something we were going to do tonight, but it didn't officially make this agenda, but it was on past ones. So given that it's the middle of the winter, it's not a big deal to not do it tonight, but you'll want to have assigned stewards darn soon for the next year. If people want, I'll tell you right now, Bisbee, Benfield, Greystone Crossing, Buttrick Woods, Fisk Meadow, Fox Hill, Hartwell, Blanchett Land, Macomb Property, and the Keystone Link have no stewards. I think it's crucial that the top 10 or 15 properties in terms of size have them. If we end up for a period of time not having the few small ones, have them, it could, if it becomes a problem in the future with insufficient stewards, then I'd say some of the smaller properties only get a steward every other year, something like that. But the top 10 or 15 properties in terms of size need to have at least 2 each. And so, if not tonight, then at a near-term future meeting, we should have fill out those assignments as best we can for the stewards available.
Are you taking names now?
What?
You taking names?
I think it should be done in a group thing because,
Well,
I think we should do it
But
piecemeal.
no.
Huh?
That we should do it as a big group.
well, if you want to write them down and put on the list, I'll know. Just doing them all.
I can, yeah, I will update the table that I send out for the next, whenever meeting is gonna be done. If you give me, so how many of those do you want to take? 5?
No, I'll take Fox
Yeah, I
Hill.
have some now. I'll take Fox Hill. No, sure.
I mean,
I'll take
Fox-
Benfield.
I'll take Fox Hill.
Oh, we got
That's
so many
my
on Fox Hill. Took me up Fox Hill. Oh, yeah. Then he took it away from me.
Warren,
Yeah.
Warren is the
I took it
only.
for you. Then he took it from me.
So which ones did,
I'll take Benfield. That'll be 8.
all right, just a second, let me, yeah. All right. Anybody else want to,
I'll do Fox Hill.
what?
I'll do Fox Hill.
Yeah, I have your name there. Well, that fills 2 out of the
Those are big
5 or
ones.
6, yeah.
It-
The Bisbee is not, it's the largest one that has no
I'll do
steward,
Is
but
that the one?
What?
Is that
It's all
On
Concord.
Concord Road,
Concord Street,
Concord Street.
but it's
Two fields.
a field and the trail that goes up to the Hartwell Circle. And there are a few signs at the,
I'll do this, Pete.
what?
I'll do it. But I won't do hard work.
Yeah, all right. That helps a little bit.
One of the reasons that I was asking about Russell is that I noticed when I was looking through your table that I didn't see any expenses there for Russell conservation land, the table of the budget. And I didn't hear Alex say anything about Russell when it comes to the management objectives for the CPA. So Russell is a rather interesting piece of land and fairly new. And it's got, it's right next to a heron rookery. It's got fields that are kind of divided in an odd way, one of which is right next to somebody's lawn. And some growing knotweed. And I would think having some review of that pretty nice piece of land would be a really valuable thing to have. There's no expense
Well, Alex
because
and Judy are on that. They'll add that to their list.
okay, the Garrison Place is responsible for the mowing, but they're supposed to mow according to how the Conservation Commission asked. That's what was the agreement. So they're not supposed to just go and mow it. They're supposed to know, we're supposed to be able to authorize them to do it, I think. And there's a lot of invasive plants along the edges of the field. And a new property owner at the top of the hill where the field goes, right along the edge of their lawn. So it would be good, especially since you've got a new property owner, to make contact. And that's what we do when there's a CR on a property, but there isn't on this one. Bring it up. Okay.
And we discussed the Zoom noise on
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
It'll just take very short time.
No, it could be done.
So, is that a yes?
Yes.
So last year,
We're on one of the numbered items.
No, I don't think.
it's the one that's unexpected because
Okay,
Yeah.
thunder.
he wrote me yesterday and said the biodiversity project for Massachusetts that's gonna have $4 million worth of money, that some of it is gonna be grants, would be an excellent thing to revisit doing some, state listed species work at Fuss Farm. Blanding's turtle, Liatris, and removing invasives and fixing up some of the Blanding's turtle habitat there behind the gardens, okay? And so last year, we had create a whole proposal. LSC voted for it, we sent it to Conscom voted for it, and then Conscom had to put their name on it. I don't know if you were there.
I probably wasn't.
And then Conscom had a separate proposal for something else, I don't remember. It was all done with state funds, okay? And Zoo New England was the contractor for both, I believe, but I'm not sure about the Conscom one. And they submitted it, and neither one got funded, okay? This year, Zoo New England contacted me yesterday and said, that thing that we proposed last year, the biodiversity project from the state that just came out last month, that would be potentially an excellent project. It would also be good for you and your families, not we. But, so anyway, so he sent sort of the same, proposal that we voted on last time. Okay, so same budget. Everything is the same. We just need for LSC to say, yes, we still think it would be good to support Zoo New England and the state listed species at Fuss Farm. Do the same thing, and it would, and then vote to allow probably me or Alex, but I don't think you want to do this one, but to go to Conscom on Thursday and have Conscom say, yes, we've read the materials you sent. And, because it has to be submitted on December 28th.
How nice.
I know. I mean, it's just ridiculous. So, but the thing is, it's already been all done. All we have to get is their signature. Okay, it's all exactly the same. Conscom approved it last time, we approved it last time. Let's try again for the funding. Only this time it's through a source that is desperately trying to give away money to support biodiversity. So we don't want something more fuzzy, we want an actual vote.
I mean, is this something that came in late today or something?
Yes,
Wasn't it?
Yes, and they just sent it to me yesterday.
And that's why we have that number 14, other matters not anticipated, otherwise we can.
Right,
But
but
we
it's
don't
already,
have, I don't know what we're voting on. You say we voted on it before, I don't.
Yeah,
know
I sent
when
it out,
was.
I sent it out as an email from me.
Right, it
Yeah,
actually made the
everybody.
packet.
And then Noel is put it in the packet.
It is in the packet.
Yeah.
You want to see it? Chris, do you want to see it? Do you know what it looks like?
I think maybe it was voted on before you came, but I'm not sure.
Right,
I can't remember where you arrived.
December 1st, that document.
No, it was uploaded today, this afternoon. Relatively late. There were I think four documents that were uploaded all at the same time this afternoon.
They're like 3
And then a
o'clock.
couple later ones from Judy.
Is that a title?
Improving and expanding rare species habitat at Foss Farm. Was one I think it's called, Foss Farm.
In summary, proposed project involving that. Chris, do you want to just look at
It's
this?
not, I mean, it's not in the packet. That's what I'm saying. And I just hesitate because, you know, we were voting on things last year when we didn't have documents. We have a document management system.
Yeah. So
And we don't have the documents. I haven't seen, if it came today, I haven't seen it. So, just.
yeah, it's
So
the
just
Foss
is the same
Farm
old
Habitat
stuff.
Management Grant, and it was uploaded at 2:17.
I didn't get the document until this morning. That's why I couldn't take it before.
Pick 'em up.
But it's exactly the same document as it was last year. That both LSC voted for. And
So what if we just give Chris a minute to read that and we take our other emergency, which is Conscom, the police found a, you know, to read it.
Well, no, it's not fair to everybody to, I don't know, is everybody else
Well, if you
familiar
don't,
with the document?
Yeah.
I just kind of object to the last minute.
Yeah.
Nature of this vote.
It came to us last minute.
Yeah.
Otherwise we lose the money, so.
Well, we didn't get it last year. I guess I'm wondering why you think we're gonna.
Because it's a completely different
Source.
source of money. This is a 4 million grant, $4 million pot of money. And this is the first couple of months of them issuing out grants.
So who applies for the grant? Conscom?
Yes,
But we have to first vote and approve it, and then we give it to Conscom, and then on Thursday, they have the same thing, their agenda's already set.
Yeah.
We have to get them to vote on it so that, we can submit it. But anyway, while you wanna think about that, I just read something really simple.
I mean, I'm on the website. You can give me the name. I don't see it. This one.
Foss Farm Habitat Management. Summary of
Yeah,
proposed
that's it.
project. Got it?
Yeah.
Okay, while he reads that, I just want to say something else. The police called, Megan to say that they found another tree stand, hunter stand. And they wanted to know if LSC would be willing to remove it.
Where?
I
Is it
don't
your
know that.
stand?
The Robins.
Robbins.
Yes, I'll remove it.
Okay.
Where was it on?
Where?
Megan will show it to us next week. But the question is, do we have the money? Would we, if you remove it? I mean, I might be able to help you, but, sorry.
No, just, volunteer.
Okay.
Do you have Robbins
I can-
Field area?
It's on
Yeah,
private.
behind Robbins Field.
Along with all the junk that's still there.
We live right near there. Robbins is one of my.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Is it on the property or is it on private property?
I
So-
believe it's, I
Definitely.
believe it's on
John and I.
private property on the edge. I don't,
Oh, yeah.
and the owner didn't know anything about it and did
I
not
don't-
approve it.
Okay, good.
Yeah, that's-
I don't know how the lot lines that they have here. I think it's on the edge of the conservation. It's not, there's no house on it. On the lot,
Okay.
on the map that was submitted.
I just,
All right, so I can just, I don't even think we need to vote on that. I can just tell them that we'll take care of
During
we should
hunting,
confirm that it's on private
during
property.
hunting season.
Well, it's, at least this is what they sent. He said that it's not on private. And I guess the police talked to the
Property owner and they
They said it's not there.
Wouldn't do it during the hunting season.
Why they use
Because
it?
the hunter may be up there.
Yeah.
That's right, right, I'll take it down and be like,
Like a cat in a tree, huh?
Take it down on Sunday. No hunting.
All right, no hunting on Sunday.
Oh.
We're just waiting on Chris.
Yeah, no, you don't,
Do we want to just
you
talk
guys,
about,
if you guys have nothing to discuss about it and everybody's ready. Don't wait for me.
So I've been trying to get the documents out as early as possible, and we've had some problems. It would be better if we could put the documents on the Google site, but we can't. So, for example, we had a meeting last night, and a meeting tonight. There was nothing listed for the meeting last night. It was all listed for tonight. And I said, these go in the Woodward Subcommittee meeting for the 8th. And suddenly, all of the documents got moved over to the 8th, and I said, what happened to the LSC stuff for the 9th? She's like, oh, and then she had to sort them out and move them back and forth. So, it gets a little difficult sometimes.
It's on the site.
But I do make sure that you get the documents. You probably got that sent separately from me as well.
Sue has a question?
Oh,
Hello?
I must have blinked. Somehow we missed the Woodward line item or for the agenda.
Yeah.
Skipped over and went on down.
Yes.
Yeah, we did a couple things out of order so that Jonathan didn't have to talk anymore.
We still have, we have,
And we haven't done table Z. I don't know how we got.
and
So yeah, we jumped to Foss Farm and then we went to the budget. And then, yeah, we ended up jumping around. So you didn't blink. It happened. Not planned. I don't know what,
and it's after 9:30. I don't know what you want to.
so we need to have a vote on the.
yes, we
big
should.
budget.
do that, yeah.
So, and then we will just call it, I think, right?
Yeah.
2.5 hours is enough. Right, so, I make a motion to. What do we have to do? Send the information to
Recommend.
Conscom.
Recommend to Conscom that, that we submit a proposal to the grant. Or that they submit a proposal to the grant.
Well, recommend to Conscom
Will you
that
make the
they
motion? Go
support
ahead. You make the motion.
the proposal that Zoo New England has pretty much done for us, like they did it last year. Okay, that's what they did. They created the proposal because they have the knowledge, right? They brought it to us, we all looked at it. Then it went to Conscom, they looked at it, and everyone was like, this is great. Submit it. All we have to sign, so Conscom will have to sign. So
So that
That's what we did last year.
Moving that LSC recommend to Conscom that
Just-
they submit this proposal, that Conscom submits this proposal.
Sign and submit.
Yep.
Thank you. Sign and submit.
And for anybody who doesn't really know, Zoo New England are the people that are doing big studies on planting turtle at Foss Farm along the river. And also they're the ones who planted a lot of the purple flowers there as you drive into Foss Farm. And that's our state listed species. And they're very interested in all of the state listed species there. So, but the Blandings turtle is there. They're a big project. And getting rid of invasives in the Blandings turtle habitat.
Anybody want to second that?
Need a second.
I'll second it.
Okay. Good, voice vote. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed?
I'm abstaining.
Okay. So, Chris, how do we help in the future to make sure that, should I text you
No,
or
you know,
something?
it's,
Something's
it's
just gonna
fine.
come in last minute.
yeah.
Yeah, but I think what we need is an agreement that things that do come in at the last minute, that we can't, as a committee, guarantee that we can act upon it, because for some of us, I just didn't have time to think about it, read it again, or whatever. I
Right.
just didn't, you know,
But it just came in today.
I know, so
I mean,
there has to be
yeah,
an
I got home from work
understanding
and
that to ask
at 20
people
minutes
to
to turn
vote
around
on
to go
something that only came in a few hours ago
Yeah,
is not practical.
Right. But
but it's
Not
money,
that it can't
it's
be done.
free money, right?
Yes,
It's
it's
not
not that
like-
it can't be done, it's just, it has to be, you know, extremely important and time sensitive. And then maybe we can act, but if it's not time sensitive, it should be, mentioned, but then, you know.
Yeah. Put on the next agenda. Well, that's why it says matters not anticipated. It was definitely, it couldn't have been anticipated.
So, shall we do our next meeting? One scheduled.
Oh, we don't have one scheduled? Yeah.
I think so. So it's January, February?
You have the subcommittee meeting, so I keep thinking everything's scheduled. What are you thinking? What's anybody thinking?
That would not be a good date. for me, but 13th is fine.
Did we pick one?
How's everybody feeling about January 13th?
I'm good for what?
The only thing bad about it is that we have the other LSC meeting. We're doing the 2 nights in a row again.
No.
is that the.
12.
That we said.
Yeah,
Start with me.
okay.
So it's up to you. Shane's okay.
That's fine.
That's good.
Okay.
Okay. And what, February 10th?
Sure.
We're gonna go out even further?
Should we just say the second Tuesday of every month?
That would be kind of handy, wouldn't it?
Megan would love us for it.
It is sort of traditional, I mean.
It'll be March 10th.
April 14th. May 12th. Yeah, they'll love it. So the only thing we be careful of is that to make sure that the Town hall is open the Friday before. That was the Thanksgiving rub. The other meetings that they weren't open.
I don't think that's gonna be a problem on the of those.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
That's enough, plenty.
That's enough.
All right.
Yeah, but I'll reserve when I send the minutes tomorrow. I'll reserve people for all of those dates. Let me just get that off the books.
Thank you for what you do, Claudia.
Before we adjourn, Brian, do you want to just talk a little bit about the subcommittee, maybe 5 minutes of where we're headed before we have the butters here that we're interested in, so.
Okay. So actually, Alex might be better giving the update than I am, but basically, we started to look at the document and we definitely found some discrepancies. And it needs to go to town council. It needs to be discussed with CCF. There are just things that are not consistent. In one place, it says the CR can be used for flowers, and another place it says it can only be used, it can only be mowed, and it can only be grazed. So it's like, we're getting different things. Alex put in a lot of work and went through and labeled a lot of things, but we really need to work that out. We are going to meet on the 15th with the licensee, and she will bring the management plan so we can talk about it with her. And then following that, we were going to do the stakeholders and abutters, and then make a presentation first to LSC and then to CONSCON.
Yeah, and just since Sue is here, we did look at your updated document and concluded that many of the issues that you have in your document, we need to review with the license holder and get answers as to whether those are issues that those will wind up as being substantive issues on the license, or whether the license holder is fine with all of your requested changes and amendments. So we are meeting on December 15th if you want to join. The 15th, right?
Yeah,
Join.
I forgot you weren't there. I thought you were there last night.
Actually, remember when you said you made a mistake and had to cancel that meeting, and you asked me to ask the abutters to, get notice that there's no meeting. I asked you when the next one was. I didn't hear back. So I'm wondering if you have new dates, can you post them in your meeting, at the end of your meeting minutes or at the end of your agenda? So, because if they change or you add or subtract, I don't think you have the bandwidth to reach back out to me, and I'm trying my best to keep on top of it. And I have to say something else to the LSC as a group. It's been about 9 months, like we said, and you respectfully ask other people that are visiting. You try to get them heard early. There's been times in the spring and in the summer you even said, "Oh, we'll have Woodward be heard early." So, I don't have to sit here for hours. And here we are. Not only did you not do me an order, you skipped around, which I understand sometimes you skip. But then if it weren't for Chris, you were going to not even address the Woodward topic. And I think I just learned a legal term. Alex, is this right? Intentionally creating a chilling effect. I think that's a legal term, right? So I don't know if it's meant to be intentional, but it's certainly being taken as intentional. And I'm asking the committee to reconsider that this is an important topic. I didn't make the mistakes. I'm here as an interested party, and I don't think I'm being treated respectfully.
Understood. Don't forget, we have a subcommittee just to deal with this. So it's
I'm only here for the status of the subcommittee that I clearly didn't know about, but I didn't know that date happened. But to just get the quick status, I don't know why that wasn't just done in the beginning in 3 minutes and then, but it almost wasn't addressed tonight if it weren't for Chris speaking up. So,
Because we decided to end these meetings at 9:30, it's now 9:45. We
oh,
can't
sure,
get,
I understand, but this is how it works with the Woodward topic. We respectfully will hear all the other people and Woodward's last and sometimes skipped. And it is a pattern and it's disrespectful. It wasn't going to be a long conversation. It was just a status. But I just ask that this topic gets a little bit more respect. Thank you.
understood. Right, so the other part was the CCF Woodward letter. They want to know about the boundaries. We're still trying to get a price from, a quote from Stamps McNary to make a final plot plan. Meanwhile, the licensee is just gonna go by where the fences are, and they've already given us a little plan that shows what that looks like. And then the baseline assessment is gonna be done by CCF. They're taking care of that. So those were the 3 items on there. And I'm sorry, I didn't know why you weren't there last night. I had no clue that it's because you didn't know.
I appreciate that.
Christina?
Hi, thanks. Sue, I don't know if you're aware, you can actually sign up for notifications for specific committees and subcommittees through the town website. And
Thank you.
so that way you automatically get notified every time there's a meeting posted. So that
Thank you
maybe
very
help
much.
out. Yep.
Appreciate that. Thank you, Christina.
Yep.
Brian, can I add a little bit about the baseline assessment for Woodward? So we hired a consultant to do the baseline assessment. We met him December 1st. He did all of the field work. And the first thing we did was check the boundary line with 106 Maple Street. And those stakes that we had put in on March 14th that cost us $800 are gone. I just wanted to let people know that.
And are the holes still there? Could he figure out where they were?
I went out the day after they staked it in March and took a lot of pictures, so we could tell where they would have been. But it was very disappointing that we spent all that effort so we could find where the boundary was and it's gone.
It's also against state law. You can't pull up bounds.
Yeah. So.
If they're just benchmarks, you could, but if they're on the bound, you can't legally do that. So yeah, that stinks. I don't know if Stamsky needs that again to do the plot plan or not. If they need
Probably
to
not.
restake it.
No, because he's got the corners and it's just a straight line.
But yeah, that's pretty disappointing and completely illegal.
Yeah.
Thanks. Motion to adjourn?
Move to adjourn tonight's meeting.
Second.
Okay.
Thank you, everyone.
All those in favor?
All in favor?
Signify by saying aye. Aye.
Chris, I'm totally not, because I screwed it up an hour ago. So.
Either you have to show me how to get them or you have to say.
What I'll do is,
That's
I
the
can send
I'm trying to help.
I appreciate it.
No, that's good. Let me show you. But I'll give you back.
Okay. Yeah. No, send you an email.
Okay. And I also finished redoing